Hi, I'm Dr. Cher, and I'm going to talk today about the power of the scale. And the reason I'm talking about this is recently I've had a few discussions with clients I dealt with quite a while ago, and they were talking about one of the things that really helped them being able to maintain their weight was the fact they were no longer afraid of the scale, which particularly comes into play when you're trying to maintain your weight. Often this is a pattern I have seen, and maybe you're facing it now, right? We're coming back from the end of the summer, the whole COVID situation and whatnot, being locked down, but things opening up. And maybe you just know, okay, I definitely can tell by the way clothes are fitting and whatnot, just how you're feeling. You just know you've put on weight. Often what happens, a lot of people then avoid the scale. They're like, you know what? I won't step on the scale now because I know it's really going to upset me. What I'll do is I'll try and kind of, eat clean, do some stuff, exercise more, whatever it is that you want to try. And once I get a good kind of week or two, then I'll step on the scale. Well, the challenge is potentially, if one doesn't kind of get on those things, it becomes a bit of a delay tactic. But also it's a bit of that fear. It is sort of an avoidance pattern, and I get it. It's fear. I'm not being flippant at all. I do understand that when people have struggled either a long time in their life with weight, or if it's been a more recent thing, but just such a source of frustration that stepping on the scale can be a very emotionally charged situation. And the challenge is avoiding the reality of what's happening is not necessarily going to empower somebody to then take the steps to understand what's happened and know what to do, empower them to even want to kind of deal with the challenges of having put weight on. So this is the paradox, I guess you could say, or the catch-22, right? It's been an issue in the past. Don't want to face it, don't want to face the reality, don't want to face the inner dialogue, being upset with oneself and angry or whatever it is, the emotions that come up, the guilt, the shame, whatever it is that comes up. So the tendency is to then want to avoid it. But avoiding it, unfortunately, can often perpetuate the problem. And I know there's people out there that are dead set against the whole idea of weighing. You shouldn't worry about the scale, but I think it's more about just shifting the perspective. And shifting the perspective, thinking the power of the scale is saying, okay, how can you be more powerful than the scale? Can you look at it as just simply data? It is information that then you can work with to then find the strategies, get the help, face what you need to do in order to make a change. It is really no different, quite frankly, than would you look at your bank account? If you've been on vacation, would you come back and be like, oh, where are we at with on our visa? Where are we at in the bank account? Just to recalibrate. You just got to check in. Where are we at? Okay, we're good. Carry on. Oh, we overspent. We need to cut back. I mean, literally, that's all it is. Now, for somebody that's had money issues, that scenario I just described to you would be a big thing for them, right? That would be emotionally charged. Like, oh, I probably overspent. Here I go again. I can't manage my money and want to avoid it. And then finding out, finally the bill comes in or they get it and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I spent so much, rather than maybe being on top of it ahead of time, getting ahead of it. So it's the emotional charge is no different. And so it's often what we bring. The emotional experiences are what we judge as failures. I don't like to use that word, but people do self-judge, feeling like a failure, feeling disempowered, feeling like they don't know what to do next. So the tendency is to tend to want to avoid. So what I want to encourage you to do with this video is, now that the summer's over, is just, if you can, just do a little self-talk. Just think of it as, this is a number. It's simply giving me information. It's like when you go to the doctors. Would you say, doctor, no, I don't want you to check my blood pressure. I don't want to do lab results because I don't want to get the numbers. I don't want to get the information. I'm just going to pretend everything's fine. If you view it strictly as just it's information, and when you can just take away the emotional charge around it and view it as just data, information, at which point then you know, okay, so now I know I need to do something. Maybe you'll find out it's not as bad as what you think. This is one of the things when I'm working with people, particularly when we're getting more into the maintenance part of their program, is encouraging them, don't be afraid of the scale. Like, let's say they had a weekend away and they know they overdid it. So step on the scale. Guess what? You're going to see, okay, yeah, weight's up. See what happens. Make self-correct, which is awesome. Will you learn to trust your body then? And if not, okay, well, they have the strategies. They know what they need to do. You do a few of the correction days and boom, you're back down to where you were. But the avoidance pattern, that's what's going to build to like, I don't want to go, I don't want to look. And it's 2 pounds, and it's 3. And then for some reason, maybe suddenly they're like, oh, geez, my jeans aren't really fitting anymore. Well, that's 10 pounds. So, and that is a bit of overwhelming, right? The amount of weight to deal with. So trying to change your inner dialogue, which I appreciate is not necessarily easy when this has been a pattern, but just changing your inner dialogue, saying, okay, I know what happened. I may have put weight on, but by facing the reality, then it'll empower you to kind of say, okay, well, what can I do differently? What do I need to change? And it's just thinking of yourself as being empowered to be not influenced by the scale. Likewise, not stepping on the scale because it's such a trigger. That still means the scale has power over you, right? It's simply information. It's like you're looking at your bank account. It's like when you were in school, you probably wanted to know what your marks were. You want feedback on your marks. Again, another example on that, unless maybe you're somebody that maybe had some challenges in school and didn't really reach out for help, and marks, maybe a history of your marks not being great, again, that same pattern, there might be a tendency, I don't want to look, I don't want to know. But leaning in, going through, but then asking for help, getting the tools that you need so you're not just left feeling kind of disempowered because you're not happy with the result but not knowing what to do. It's just committing to yourself, okay, I'm just going to face this, and then I'm going to do my research, figure out who can help me, what can help me, so that I can kind of get a handle on this and not be afraid of it anymore. So that's all I wanted to mention to you today. With the summer being over, if you're avoiding the scale, just step on it. Just face the reality, because at the end of the day, we know when we're on track with, be it our food eating habits, with our money, with whatever we're doing, and business. It might be looking at your numbers and things like that. Anything where it's at work, anything that's quantifiable, you can avoid it or just face it and kind of go, okay, data, information, what am I going to do? Now I'm going to tap into that executive functioning part of my brain, or get the help I need to develop the strategies to handle this feedback I've got in the form of a number. Okay, so don't be afraid of the scale. It's actually, if you switch your perspective on it, it can actually be beneficial, and it will prevent the slippery slope of more weight gain than really what you obviously want. Okay, take care. Bye.